So Russia's invasion of Ukraine may have a big impact on food prices in the U.S. And this is an article I'm going to bring to you from Consumer Affairs. A lot is at stake depending on the magnitude of the conflict and how long it takes or how long it lasts. It's not something the average grocery shopper would think about, but there's a connection between what's going on in Ukraine and the price increases Americans will likely pay in the near future. According to Food Drive, the key food commodity prices hit their highest point in nearly a decade after Russia began its invasion into Ukraine on Thursday. Strange coincidence. Those two countries have a lot of essential ingredients that power the things Americans eat. Combined, Russia and Ukraine produce 80% of the exports of sunflower seed oil, one of the most used oils at restaurants and at home, 29% of global wheat production, and 19% of corn. So as you're shopping and you're seeing shortages and or price increases in relation to, you may want to look and kind of consider the origin of these products and some of the ingredients that go into them, which Ukraine and Russia, they're major exports of these countries, which are currently at war and extreme turmoil and more than likely going to affect us here in the U.S. and other countries. Russia could also hold farmers hostage to a certain degree because it's one of the largest exporters of nitrogen products that are used to fertilize crops. I mean, this has the implications of being a widespread global pandemic as a result of what's going on between these two countries. Where things are headed and laying out several scenarios on how the conflict could play out. Rabobank, a Dutch multinational banking and financial services company that focuses on food and agribusiness, projected a 30% rise in wheat prices and a 20% rise in corn prices if an all-out war develops. And based on some of the things that I've seen so far, all-out war is developing. You have explosions. You have just civilians being armed to the teeth of all ages to fight for their country, and you have tanks driving over cars in the street. I don't know what else spells all-out war besides that. The company says things could be made even worse in a scenario that combines effective sanctions with war. But food and drink prices are actually already going up, but CEOs are saying that consumers aren't changing their shopping behaviors just yet. Food and beverage giants say consumers aren't balking yet at paying more for their Lay's chips and Tyson chicken nuggets, but those comments preceded the Russian invasion of Ukraine, which has already led to surging prices for oil and gas, metals, and grains. I don't know if you saw my last video, but there's a shortage at my local Quick Trip, local gas station. They just built this and they don't have enough gas to service all the pumps. Walmart said earlier this month that consumers are aware of rising prices but haven't changed their behaviors yet either. Inflation has led many food and beverage companies to raise prices by shrinking package sizes, cutting promotions, or outright price increases at the grocery store. But companies have to strike a delicate balance, raising prices enough to offset higher costs without making products too expensive for consumers, who could always trade down to a cheaper alternative like private label brands. We're feeling good about how our consumers are staying loyal to our brands in spite of some of the pricing decisions, and this is from Pepsi. In January, the producer price index for final demand rose 1%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The metric tracks rising costs for domestic producers for commodities. For food, prices trickled up 1.6% compared to December and 12.3% compared to 12 months ago. Consumers, on the other hand, saw food prices tick up 0.9% in January compared with a month earlier and 7% compared to the year ago period. According to the BLS Consumer Price Index, many shoppers have had more cash to spend at the grocery store after receiving government stimulus checks during the COVID pandemic and changing other behaviors like traveling and eating out less. Now, I would agree with that. Not so much that the stimulus check increased my buying power at the grocery store because I didn't immediately decide to spend $1,200 more on groceries, but in combination with less travel and less eating out, just for the simple fact that you really couldn't do it, would all play a factor in how much additional money you had available for necessities, which would probably go to grocery stores as you're spending more time at home and preparing more meals at home, or even cooking out more, or maybe having family and friends over. These inflation measures came before the Russian invasion of Ukraine, which has already led to a surging price of oil and gas, metals and grains, all key exports of Russia. Aluminum prices hit a record high of $3,450 per ton on the London Metal Exchange. Still, most companies hedge to protect themselves from short-term spikes in commodity prices, although at this point, it's unclear how long this crisis will persist and when shoppers will start feeling the pinch. I predict it's going to be sooner than later. Cracks in the foundation on Thursday. Procter and Gamble, which manufactures consumer staples like Tide detergent and Pampers diapers, expressed caution when talking about its ability to deal with rising inflation. During periods of inflation like this, middle income families, lower income or lower middle income families, even wealthier families become more price sensitive. And I would agree with that. But at the end of the day, it kind of comes down to what you need and what's available. And with some grocery stores and suppliers having shortages on products, it's going to come down to more of what's available to satisfy what you need. And it may not be the brand you want. It may not be the price you want. It may not be the quantity you want. Maybe you may have to buy more of certain items just to get them, which ultimately means you're spending more. But that is what it is. So I'm going to keep an eye on this and see how how our grocery stores are continuously keeping their shelves stocked or not, and also possibly how this Ukraine and Russia's war and invasion could affect us locally, and how quickly, whether it be a shortage of products as they relate to wheat, grain, corn, sunflower seed oil, and then also the price of these products as well. So if you're seeing any impact in your area because of this, let me know. Drop me a comment below. I would appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share the channel if you would. It helps us grow. We are growing our subscriber base, and I appreciate everybody who's watched the video so far and who have liked, commented, and subscribed. I do appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.